I'm going to talk harshly on Gen Z, Generation Z. In Kiswahili, Z means zero. So, Generation Zero. Uh, I can equate Gen Z to Icarus of the Greek. I don't know. I think most of them, 99%, would say, uh, who is Icarus and all that. And this is a cursed generation. You find them saying they don't want to learn, and whatever they want to learn is what they know. They don't want to learn new things. You try to tell them something that they've never heard of, just like Icarus. Say no, we don't want teachings of the old people. Your time is gone and whatever. We want us to teach this and this. Now, sincerely, why should you be taught what you know? If you know, you know. And if you reach someone and say you don't want any other information or education apart from what you know, just say so. Don't come and say, no, don't teach us that, teach us this. Teaching means being told things that you don't know. Now here you are the syllabus masters. But anyway, there's much I wanted to say. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to go. It's just so if you find that I'm going up and down, for this one you should excuse me. Now the story of Icarus. There is a Greek myth. I tell you it is a myth because it did not happen. It was a story that was created to teach people lessons. And if there is anything that Gen Z don't like, these things which are called myths. But anyway, there was a Greek myth that said that there was an old man, a father, who looked at the way birds were flying. Those days there were no aeroplanes. Uh, they saw how birds were flying. Then he came up with an idea that if he killed a lot of birds and removed their feathers, he would place them on his hands and he would fly like birds. He did the same to his son. The son was Icarus. When he did it to his son called Icarus, they started flying. It was enjoyable, emotional. What other imaginable word can you use there? When they continued flying, the son, that is the boy started flying up and up. The father told him, no, if you fly up and up, you will go to you will go near the sun and it is too hot, the sun, just like today's Gen Z said, nyinyi wazee wa zamani mtatufundisha nini? Oh, well, I have international youths who watch this and they usually get problems when I use Swahili. So the son, the kid, because if I use, there are two sons here. There is the son, the child, and then there is the son, the star. The kid told the father, the kid was told by the father not to fly high because he will go near the sun, which is very hot. He did not hear that. He disregarded that and he flew close to the sun. And then the sun melted. There were those glues that he had placed, his father had placed on the feathers on him. Those glues melted and the feathers fell off and the son fell down with a thump and died. If you'd have listened to his father, then things would have been different. But that is a myth. A myth is a story that is created to give people lessons. But if there is a generation that does not want to listen to lessons, it's the Gen Z. I also want to say that there are occasions when you do something dangerous. I've done that before, like commenting comments that maybe security officers would be concerned. Someone can tell you you're flying close to the sun. That is, they're trying to tell me that, or they're trying to, or somebody's being told there that if you continue being close, maybe it will be not too good for you. We have two things. We have the front tire in any vehicle and the back tire. The vehicle could be a bicycle. The vehicle could be a trailer, multi-hauler, and so on and so forth. Uh, Even when the back wheels run fast, they cannot overtake the front wheel. The only time the back wheel overtakes the front wheel is when the vehicle has overturned. And when it has overturned, consequences are there. So, Kenya, we have 35 public universities now. When I completed my Form 6, there was only one, there were two, there was one public university in Kenya, that is University of Nairobi. And Kenyatta University was a constituent campus of Nairobi University. Actually, that was where the faculty of education was. So during my time, there was only one public university and one private university. The private university was Baraton University, which is somewhere in Kapsabet. Today, we have 35 public universities and several private universities. You may have reached university and you think better than me with my only Form 6 certificate. But as I've told you, that the only time the rear tires overtake the front tires is when the vehicle has overturned. We have had very many revolutions in the past. We have had very many revolutions in the past. Revolutions of young people in the age group of today's Gen Z. This is not the first time that we have had a revolution of people of equivalent to, if you count the number of years that Gen Z have, and we go back and back and back, we will find people who are the same age as them had their own revolutions. And I will only give two examples. In 1979, during the Tehran uprising, it was started by the university students of Tehran, same age, maybe even slightly younger than the Gen Z. What did they do? They overthrew the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and replaced him with Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. These students, after chasing away Shah Reza Pahlavi, they went to the university, they went to the US embassy, abducted all the all the students there, all the staff there, and what we call the Iranian Revolution, which is there even to today, was started by youths of your age. We did not see what you people are doing. They did not see what you're doing. Remember, they say that the end justifies the mean. Yours just ended that way. No, if someone was to write a report, what would you write? What would you say happened? What would you say that? But those succeeded. Not only did they succeed, they placed there a government from 1979 to today. That is 21 years in the other, and then we have 25. This is 46 years ago. They had a revolution. It changed and it is still there. We come nearer home. We come nearer home. We find 1986, the NRA, National Resistance Army Revolution in Uganda. What age was Kagame? Kagame, the president of Rwanda, was among them. He was 20 years. What age was Kisa Bisije? He was in his 20s, and etc. etc. They went, overran military camps, did whatever they did. They overthrew the government of General Tito Okello Lutwa. And Museveni has been there for all those years, 39 years. But what? But our Gen Z are in the 20s, but can never win anything. I can say here without fear of contradiction, is that even they themselves did not know that they would be as successful as they were. Because if you plan something, you have to plan all the. You don't buy a vehicle and you don't know how to drive and then park it. When you're buying a vehicle and you don't know how to drive, you either learn to drive or look for a driver. You just came, you were drunk by your success, and things have gone that way. First and foremost, the youths of those days were courteous. The youths of those days were courteous. They said, Wazee, you are wrong in this way, and this is the way to go about it. That is how kina Tito Okello Lutwa, kina Basilio Okello were set aside. That is how kina Mohammed Reza Pahlavi was replaced by Ayatollah Khomeini. Yes, you also have to look for not more than 6 elderly people to be your guidance. You should not say that anybody above 25 is useless. That is what I have to say. Ask any and all Gen Z. You say this is bad. Can you come up with a solution? If you see that things are not being done well, they are being done in one way and you'd rather they be done in the other way, why don't you point out? You see, yours is just to say, no, this way, no, whatever, no. Eh? They say, so we say that this is bad now. We want you to come up with a better thing. We agree what we are doing is bad, what we are doing this is bad. Why don't you come up with? They say that a metal is removed by another metal. An idea is removed by a better idea. If you see what is happening is bad and you have no better suggestion, then keep quiet. Keep quiet. Because it is better to have a bad idea than not to have any idea. If you watch my earlier video, you will notice that I had pointed out that your so-called leaders were opportunistic, and many people, especially young ones, really castigated me. I was being told you are envious of the youth. You had your time and you misused it. Now I want to ask, who is laughing now? These people went, they are now rich. Exactly 1 year to today, February last year. Some did not even have a bicycle, but they're driving oil, gassy, whatever. You know that. Most of the Gen Zs are products of free education. I think If I was to get Kibaki today, I should tell him he should not have set out free education. I can point somebody who 20 years after leaving school still could not see a room constructed, yet he found building construction money, bypassed it, and Kibaki stopped it. Imagine before, this is what I'm trying to tell you now. I can pinpoint somebody to you, older than you, who would tell you that he joined a certain school in the 90s. Okay, for example, for the purpose of figurative, let's talk this. In 1991, he went to Standard 1. 1998, he went to Standard 8. For those 8 years he was in school, each term he used to pay money which was called building construction. He went to secondary school. Even when he was in secondary from form 1 to form 4, that is somebody who went to school for 12 years. In his school fees, he used to pay something which was to be called building construction. That was that time. And the same schools, no single building has been constructed. And if there is any building that has been constructed, then it is what is called CDF that has constructed those schools. So parents used to be punished. And I think punishing the parents that way, I think it was good. I have now come to realize, yeah, I'm one of them. I used to pay the building funds. And even, leave alone that, even when I was in school, it was funny because I went to different primary schools. It's funny that Bagadi Road Primary School in next to Bagadi Hospital, we were never asked for building funds. But the primary schools that I went to outside Nairobi, those were not run by city council. We used to pay 20 shillings building funds. And even today, you cannot show anything that for over 30 years was called building fund. I think that was money that the head teachers used to use. These things teachers used to harass parents, and the parents used to really look for that money. I think students used to see how parents used to struggle to get that money, and then they became appreciative of their parents. But you people, Gen Z, you went to school where your parents didn't pay anything and whatever. So those of us, and even those who followed us, who paid building funds and saw how our parents were being harassed, we appreciated our parents because we used to see the problem that they used to have. I think Kibaki, that is, he in his success he failed. Those days, while joining government school, parents used to pay a lot of money as admission fee. Mm. That is why we had a lot of private school flourishing. You could, when your child wanted to join, let's say even a city council school, uh, the child would be told to pay 10,000 of that time, 10,000 of that time for admission fee. That would make parents, me being one of them. I asked myself, why should I pay 10,000 for my son to join a city council school when I could pay a private school 6,000 for the whole year? People who are there before you, I think hardship trains people. Raha raha steadiness makes you lazy and brood and whatever. People who saw their parents struggle to get their fees, people who saw their parents struggle in very many ways, really understood their parents and really appreciated them. Other things that the Gen Z should understand, when we were growing up, there was a song, so many vijana muongeze pia bidii, mwisho wa kusoma mutapata kazi nzuri sana. Waliotangulia kusoma, waambieni watoto wasome kwa bidii. So there was that song. During my time, the mentality was read hard, you'll get a good job. Today, when you graduate, you are told that you have been given power to read and do all that appertains to the degree or diploma or certificate offered. You are told to, you have been given power to do that. During my time, we used to fight to be employed. We used to look for a good job. We used to look for a good employer. Nowadays, the things that are nowadays that things that are being encouraged is job creation, and even self-employment. We no longer associate education with the job finding. Mwisho wa kusoma mutapata kazi nzuri sana. That one is during the 70s. We have less educated we have some cases where people who are less educated employing graduates. Are you happy about that? Are you happy that you are a graduate and you are employed? For example, if I started today a construction company, how much is needed? Okay, my son, I don't have a son in secondary school. My grandchildren are the ones who are supposed now to start maybe that. But I'm saying this. Somebody completes Form 4. Instead of going to university, the parents give him 30, 40, or 50 million. I'm only saying. He goes and opens a construction company. Then he goes and finds somebody who went to the university, did a degree in engineering, very many engineering, building construction, electrical engineering, so on, and then he employs them. I would also want to tell you that by identifying a problem, you should come up with a solution. I used to have a boss. He was called Chris Maluki Lati. Chris Maluki Lati always hated anybody who came to his office. You know, police have this mentality that mkubwa anajua kila, oh, the boss knows everything. That is what police believe. But Chris Maluki, an intelligence officer who was also a diplomat, you would tell him a problem and he would ask you, and what do you think is the solution? I've already talked about this, but I'm emphasizing. When you are coming up, oh, know this, know that, did you come up with a solution? Supposing you sat in a press conference and said, what is the problem? Of course, the problem you'd say, you'd give the way you did. Oh, finance bill, oh, whatever, whatever, whatever. But the question is, after we have had you, what are the solutions of the problems that you have pinpointed? Have you ever heard of, if you want to do something, best do it yourself? Why don't you correct that? The other thing is, and I've said that, I think this is the third time. If you find the system is not good, and I've given even the example of Tehran, I've given the example of Kampala. When you see something that is not being done well, and you're not pleased with the way it is being done, why don't you come? That's how, eh? Somebody comes with an alphabet, says A, you say A hatutaki, B B hatutaki, C hatutaki, sijui nini. But most important, my kids, they say discipline is second to godliness. You may correct me, but don't abuse me. For the Bible says, I am your God on earth.